Let's talk about recalibrating our thought patterns, which is another way of saying consciously adjusting our vibration and choosing our frequency. I'm not a huge fan of the movement for like constant positivity. I do not believe that as human beings we're capable of that, or that it's even healthy to always be in a state of I'm only going to think about positive things, because there are times when things come up that we need to look at, and we need to not like positive focus our way out of that. That's called bypassing. However, as human beings, we have also programmed ourselves to continuously contemplate the things that we've done so that we can make sure that we're keeping ourselves safe by not repeating something that might have been dangerous before. And then we pass those kinds of things down and through the generations, and we've sort of like got the ball rolling in a lot of ways that are not healthy or beneficial at this point. And there are a lot of ways to stop that movement and to slow that roll. So it's a really normal thing for us to berate ourselves over decisions that we've made and actions that we've already taken, and then to just kind of like never stop because of something we did 10 years ago. Oh my God, I still can't believe that I did that. I'm so stupid. That was so ridiculous. And then it just kind of like we hold it in our physical body and in our energy field. And then we perpetuate that same vibration by doing other things similar to it, because the cycle is going to continue coming around until we've said, oh, that was a lesson. I understand that I needed that lesson. It's okay that I did that thing because it brought me some piece of information or wisdom, or helped me to see something about myself that was beneficial. So we're honoring whatever it is that we have done previously, whether it was today, a decade ago, or 3 lifetimes ago, and we're not holding it against ourselves, because the holding it against ourselves is what keeps it inside of us, which is what keeps it active in our vibration. So when we catch ourselves in those moments of replaying actions in our head or telling us how ridiculous, stupid, ignorant we are, that's the time to recalibrate your thoughts and adjust your own vibration by saying the exact opposite of whatever it is that we're telling ourselves in those moments of basically self-betrayal. Because if you really listen to what you're saying to yourself, if you said that out loud to a friend of yours, they'd be like, you're not a good friend and I don't want to hang out with you anymore. So stop being a really bad friend to yourself and start catching yourself in moments which I would say can really take up most of our day, of just thinking that we're stupid, thinking that we did something stupid, and reframe whatever it is that's going on in your head. Things like, oh my God, I can't believe I dated that person. That was so stupid, can be reframed to, I actually really needed to relax in that moment, and that person assisted me with releasing some of the tension in my system that I would not have released on my own. Or I really needed to claim my self-worth, and that total fucking psycho that I dated forced me into a corner long enough that I was actually willing to claim my self-worth. Whereas before that, I wouldn't have. I could have spent my entire life just feeling like this small, insignificant human, and I could have continuously played out these roles of women in my heritage who didn't really have any self-worth. What else? The nuances to the things that are happening in our head can be so almost seemingly vague, and we can be so used to hearing ourselves say it that we don't even realize what exactly it is that we're saying to ourselves. When we're saying, um, something that can be helpful to do to bring these up is to take what a partner who has triggered you has said to you, and then notice how it's not really that they've said it to you, it's that you believe that it's true, which is what's so upsetting about it. When someone calls you selfish, crazy, inconsiderate, a bad mother in some way, shape, or form, when someone tells you something negative about yourself and then you get really offended, that's a really good time to look at what they've said and be like, is this offensive because some part of me thinks that it's true? And then sit with that part of you, because some part of you might actually think that there are things that you need to change about yourself, and that's why it's so triggering for someone else to say that to you, because you don't want it to be true. And then you want to fight with that person logically, because fuck you for saying that to me. But somewhere on the inside, you're continuously saying that to yourself, which is why you've attracted this human being that's going to reflect that to you. This is how you feel about yourself. And then instead of realizing that that's how we feel about ourselves, we're like, oh, you're an asshole. Get away from me. Which may be true, but also we're the asshole that's saying the shit to ourselves. So using those other people who say something to us to say, oh, this is something that I've been saying to myself, and now thank you for bringing that to my attention, because now I'm able to recognize that and reframe those thoughts and look at whatever belief system might be creating that so that I can shift it. I have a very strong pattern of being born into or raised in some paradigms about like girls are supposed to be sweet and nice and, you know, seen but not heard kinds of situations. And I did not really realize that I was very strongly perpetuating, I'm not ever supposed to be angry. But then when I would explode in anger, I would feel incredibly guilty, and then like never stop berating myself for having been angry, because the belief system underneath that was that you're a bad person if you're angry. You're never supposed to show those kinds of emotions. But then we're not capable of never showing those kinds of emotions. So I've had to adjust my belief systems with what it means to show emotions and to express exactly how I'm feeling, and then forgive myself fully for the times that I didn't do that well. And then to realize that what we're perceiving about ourselves as far as good and bad is really just our perception. And nothing is actually good and bad. It's just what we do and do not prefer. And then we can take the heightened emotions out of it and just say, okay, I don't prefer to act certain ways, but it is okay if I get caught up in my emotions and I do act certain ways. But now that I've taken the turmoil out of my system by releasing myself from the guilt and the belief systems about it, it naturally stops occurring. That may take some time. It may be a process of keeping yourself out of that loop and a process of finding all of the ways that we have those belief systems. But once we release our attachment to, I am not allowed to do this because it is bad, and we can say, oh, sometimes this happens and that is okay and that doesn't make me a bad person. We release the emotional charge that's in it and it naturally stops occurring. And then we have shifted our vibration completely. And that's when cycles end, and that's when people leave our lives, because we are no longer perpetuating a cycle that is bringing someone to us to say, hey, this is a thing you need to look at, this is a thing you need to look at, this is a thing you need to look at. We've looked at it. Now our entire reality can change because our full vibration has shifted drastically when we stop a cycle like that and when we clear a belief system like that. So now we break up with someone suddenly, or a friendship ends, or we move across the country, even, like, all sorts of things can happen at that point because our reality around us needs to shift to show us that we have changed. Shifting our vibration is really a matter of shifting our own judgments about ourselves. And you can also use the way that you're judging other people to clue you in on how it is that you're judging yourself, and to see how judgmental that you are, so you can see how much shifting you're capable of making. Because the more we're judging the outside world, the more we're judging ourselves, and likely the harder we're being on ourselves. So the more that we can start saying, you're allowed to feel however you want to feel. Person that I hate, people that I think are disgusting human beings, that is your reality. The more that we're saying that to the projections in front of us, the more we're saying that to the pieces of ourselves that are fragmented. So we're saying, it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay if I don't understand you. It's okay if I don't agree with you, because we have all of these different parts inside of ourselves that are fragmented, and all of those parts need to be told that it's okay to be whatever they are. And the more fragmented we are, the more pieces of reality outside of ourselves are going to seem like they don't make any fucking sense. And it's going to feel more like a struggle. to exist in this reality, in this world, with all of these realities playing out. I have gotten really good at being like, I don't agree with you, but fucking more power to you. I don't care what you're doing out there in your reality. I don't have to agree. I don't have to condone it, but I can accept that it's none of my fucking business what you're doing. None of it is my business. I can hold a vibration for the benefit of all and the well-being of all. And I can hold a vibration that says these people who might be doing terrible things are capable of finding their own way and finding the light, and I can ask for the beings that I believe in to assist them in that. But I am not here to force my beliefs on others. I'm not here to force change where it's not being asked for. I'm here to allow and hold space and believe that anything is possible. And I come back to that center on a regular basis. I do not go looking for battles to fight that are not mine. I do not watch the news, get all worked up. Over things that I cannot change. What I can do is create the space for a foundation of peace by creating that space within myself, anchoring myself into this physical reality and sending that vibration out. That's what I can do through my belief systems that is best for everyone involved, regardless of what others believe. Just hold a space for peace. And the way to do that is to create it within yourself by stop judging yourself and by allowing yourself to be fucked up. You're human. We did not come here to be perfect. We came here to experience being human, which is fucked up. And that's cool. Relax.